Okay. You guys can still hear me? Yeah, I think you guys can. All right. So let's just the first thing I love to do when it comes down to uh, just taking a look at what happened today, and just going off of that. So first thing, let's take a look at the indexes. So today, I think it's no surprise to anyone that we had a pretty crazy day. A couple $1 trillion got wiped out of the market today, all across the board, and precious metals indexes and Microsoft actually, funny enough. Um, so yeah, just looking at the daily chart here. This is the chart here. Right now, I have a very simple rule that I use. I have the 8 and the 21 EMAs here. The blue and the blue is the 8. The purple is the 21. It's really simple. When they are not crossed, I'm looking for longs. But when they get close to crossing, or like most likely are going to cross, I'm going to start looking bearish. So right now, um, we aren't crossed, which makes me think we probably will be able to long some very risk-off stocks. And I kind of covered this during my trade review with Coca-Cola. But some of the main and the best risk-off stocks to trade right now is McDonald's, Johnson and Johnson's, J&J, PG, Procter and Gamble. Any oils sometimes can be risk-off, but the main ones are. Let's see here. The main ones are healthcare and retail. So if you guys don't have a list built, you guys can use sorry, you guys can use healthcare stocks or retail stocks, because these tend to perform the absolute best when it comes to the markets being really shit, and especially these perform the like even best when precious metals and other risk-off names like gold, like silver, are also dumping. So that's why today we saw across the board J&J like probably had a crazy day. I haven't looked at their chart, but okay, not too crazy. Not too crazy of a day. But McDonald's had a crazy day. This is a big risk off stock. Kind of pulled back at the end of the day. But Coke, which is what I traded today, absolute monster day. This was also due to the Pepsi earnings, which is why I decided to swing through that. They had something in their earnings where they were giving some of their business away to competition, which is why Coke did absolutely insane today. And on top of that, it is a risk-off name. So yeah, that's kind of what my look is with the current market conditions right now. Is we aren't fully bearish on. Actually, we're getting there on QQQs, and the close under the 50 day is actually quite bearish. But we are going to dead cat bounce tomorrow. I'm very confident in that. And for those of you who do not know what a dead cat bounce is, basically, stocks move in a stair step pattern, right? So, because stocks move in a stair step pattern, we don't just go take the elevator down and don't retest, right? We always come back and retest, and basically, that's what the dead cat bounce is. Is we are probably going to have a retracement into the 21 or something tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised. And if we reject the 21 tomorrow, that's where I'm going to be very confident looking for shorts, because we're going to be under the EMAs, but we're not crossed yet, because there's been times where we were under the EMAs and we absolutely ripped right back through, and that can happen tomorrow. So that's why tomorrow we'll be really looking at the 8 and the 21 to see how price reacts around there. And if we reject the 8 and the 21 pretty hard intraday and we start getting maybe some short indicators, then oh yeah, then we should be looking for some shorts. But yeah, so that's kind of my outlook for the market right now. I think longing some risk off stocks can definitely work. The energy sector I briefly scanned looks pretty good. But tomorrow is definitely going to be the big tell. So if we reject the 21 and the 8 on the daily tomorrow, intraday, I'm going to be pretty bearish. And I know Fifi's already pretty bearish. So for me, I just kind of want to wait until I fully get my bearish signal, which is the 8 crosses the 21. As soon as that crosses, for me, I am looking for shorts. So that's kind of how I'm playing it tomorrow. But yeah, tomorrow morning, I really believe that we are going to dead cat, which is going to stop out a lot of the late shorts. And then if you're late longing or if you're too early longing, the early longs are going to get chopped as well. I think we're going to nuke it open again, or at least if we retest the 21 and the 8. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what the look is for me on QQQ. Same thing with SPY. SPY's not as weak, but it also carries a little bit, right? Our SPY doesn't trade the same as QQQ all the time because QQQ is tech and SPY's pretty much the whole U.S. market. So tech stocks are definitely the weakest right now. Like for example, QQQ closed under the 50. And SPY did not. So there's definitely some big divergence here. So if we were to short, we want to short the absolute weakest stocks, which is right now looks like tech. I haven't actually looked at any of the other indexes. I usually just look at QQQ and SPY. So if we take a look at, yeah, exactly. Software stocks have been absolutely nuked. I actually looked at the U chart today. And like this thing, holy shit, like this thing got nuked. So we kind of want to look to see, are there any other stocks that are about to have a crazy rejection like this? Software stocks 100% are leading this, which is why we're seeing QQQ act very weak. IWM is growth. Yeah, actually, this looks pretty good for now. I don't see anything too concerning here. And then ARK as well, but this also has to do, I know ARK holds a lot of BMNR. So this is also due to the crypto kind of drop as well. So I think ARK kind of made its move already, but QQQ and SPY have not. I think we have room down to 600, and if we break 600, we have room down to 584 around this area, this bounce spot. SPY, yeah, I think it's going to be Qs first, actually. So if Qs start going, I would say you can use these as your price targets if we're going to be looking for bounces. So 606, 600, and 585. And then on SPY, we're going to be taking a look. I'd say we can use like the 676 area, the 671, and the 651. So we want to look for bounce spots there. We can also look at the weekly and take a look kind of where some of the EMAs are. So we should expect to see like a 674 bounce spot, which is close to the 676 area that I just said, which is right about here. So in between here, we should expect some sort of bounce. Hopefully, if not, we're probably going to revisit the 652. So yeah, that was just a quick overview of what the market conditions are. Again, I tell everyone this, and not a lot of people spend a lot of time taking a look at the actual market conditions. I always argue that looking at market conditions are going to be the most important part of your scanning, because if you don't go into the day with a bias, if you're looking for longs, if you want to look for shorts, you can easily get screwed over. And also, the market conditions will always beat a setup. So even if right now we're looking a bit bearish on QQQ, let's say you want to long a software stock, most likely if we nuke tomorrow on QQQ, or if, yeah, we just continue the downtrend, that breakout will be stuffed quite quickly. So you always want to trade with the market conditions and with the sector as well. So yeah, that's kind of just how I go about looking at the indexes. Just taking a look, kind of, okay, what kind of happened today? What could I see happen? Yeah, QQQ looks really ugly. I'm not gonna lie. This could get very ugly very soon. Personally, right now, I'm 100% cash. I just completely got out of my Coke trade. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking for shorts, I think, tomorrow, and tomorrow will give us an entry. Just because we will, I'm so confident we're gonna dead cat overnight. Even though we're already flipping green. So yeah, we're gonna tomorrow. I'd say, guys, let's take a look and watch for rejection of 622 on Qs. If not 622, it's going to be 624. And at that point, that's where we're going to start to look for, okay, what's RDRing, what's giving us A plus shorts. Yeah, and that's where the indicator comes in, right? Really handy. So yeah, that's kind of an overview of the market conditions. So now we can kind of just look at some bearish, look for some shorts. So semis is part of that. Software is part of that. Quantum already had its kind of thing. So just before I go on, do you guys have any questions? Or like, I know I talk really fast, or I can sometimes. So just let me know if you didn't understand something that I said, or if you guys have any questions just at all. Just feel free to um, ask me. There's not a lot of people in here, so it's literally not a problem at all. Yeah. So usually, there's a few things that you can do when it comes to scanning. You can go through the master watch list, or for me, I have screeners that I set up that I've actually set up in Moomoo, which is my broker that I use. But for the sake of this, we'll go through some of these. This actually looks quite bullish. AMD just had earnings, and I think that's also going to bring the market down. Semi and quant on the way down. Yeah, so quantum I actually a while back I alerted that we're gonna look pretty ugly pretty soon. And I took shorts on the 21st of January, and I caught the majority of this move down. I think quantum already made the move, and I think majority of software did. I think right now we're just kind of going to be looking for what's lagging, what is part of these sectors that will be magneted down as well. So yeah, quantum already made its move, like Ionic, Qubits. This already made its move, right? If you guys drew a trend line here, broke the trend line, and then personally, I wait for a retest, so you probably would have wanted to get short on this day. Rejected the 8, and then there you go. So I think this already made its move. Could it continue lower? 100% it could, but we want to find the stocks that are just breaking out of the space. I know for a fact Tesla is one, and I think everyone has been eyeing that in the Discord today. Tesla is getting very, very close to dropping. Yeah, it kind of already alerted here, but ideally, I want to see some more tightness. There's not a lot of tightness, but this has not made its move, along with like kind of any of the other tech-related stocks. Same with Mu as well, but I'm getting a bit off track here. So just let's go do a quick scan. So AMAT, nothing there. Also, just send setups too if you guys see any as well. I'd love to take a look at them as well. I haven't done any scanning, so I'm gonna be just going through this, giving you guys my raw thoughts. Wow, Gev is actually really strong considering QQQ. So very notable for relative strength. VST, there's no setup here, really. I mean, if it goes sideways a little bit, we could target this gap down here, but nothing to A plus here. Yeah, nothing really here. Actually, you know what? A-Lab could be a short tomorrow. A-Lab could be a potential short tomorrow. The reason why I say that is, we have our trend line here. We broke down, we're retesting, and we've rejected. So if we dead cat, A-Lab should definitely be on this watch list. I haven't looked at cons at all to see how good they are, but A-Lab for sure. This looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna be adding this actually to my ready watch list. A-Lab. A-Lab looks quite good. I'm not gonna lie. The ADR's amazing. It's over 7%. So if we get a move down, it'll be quite quick, which is great. ARM kind of already made its move. There's no setup here. You could play it already filled the gap actually, so we can't even play the gap fill. Technically, it has room down to here, but No, I think it made its move. AVGO actually might be one that we can consider. This kind of made, it's a small bear flag here, or at least this is how I would chart it. You can chart it like this as well. There's nothing wrong with charting it like this. Or even if you wanted to move it up here, that probably makes more sense. Either way, this actually looks pretty good as well. So I want to add this to my ready as well, just because if we get a dead cat bounce, we're going to be back into the 8 EMA and we're going to watch for another rejection. So yeah, AVGO looks quite good. Take a look here. Dell's another actually pretty decent setup, but it looks like it's gapping overnight, or yeah. This is interesting. I haven't traded Dell a whole lot, so I don't really know how price moves with it. But Dell, another one, not super A plus. Don't love it. But it definitely has the chance. APLD. Yeah, I'll take a look at limit in just 1 second. APLD, dude, this stock has been so strong. Sean has said it over and over again. This is an absolute market leader. When this thing turns over, we have all the, like, technically we have down to the 18, and then from there, if we lose that, like 13, 9, even 10, if we get a hard nuke. But it'll probably be around this area where we bounce. But if APLD starts to get loose, yeah, this could be quite a good short. But as of right now, it's above all the EMAs. We want to short like the easiest shorts, the weakest stocks. We don't want to make it hard for us, right? Like we want to work with the trend. We don't want to work against the trend. So ideally, stocks that have the price under the EMAs and are setting up in a bear flag would absolutely look great. Yeah, I'll take a look at some of these guys. So limit. So this looks actually pretty. If this can go sideways for a bit, it's not sideways enough. Maybe on the hourly it might look good. Let me just see here. Yeah, we're kind of just chopping in this range. Ideally, I want to see some constructive setups happening. So ideally, best case scenario is we kind of just like flag here for a bit and then go. But I do know that there's some tension rising in Iran or Iraq. Not sure which one. I haven't done a lot of research into it, but basically you could do this as kind of a defensive play because oil stocks kind of went crazy today, and I think it was based off of some sort of news. So yeah, limit. Definitely, I mean, you could try it if it breaks above 645, but personally, I would want to see it more build a base sideways. The volume candles on this look absolutely amazing. I don't love these two sell candles, but and especially this one with the top. Yeah, actually, this needs to go sideways a bit more. For me, there's no actionable setup here yet. But you can play it as a like a defensive play just because there are some tensions rising in the Middle East. I don't know the exact specifics of it yet, but PLTR, yeah, dude, this can get ugly. This sell candle is crazy. Yeah, I think yeah, it's gonna be hard because there's not a huge the base, like the easiest short setups were right here where it kind of flagged, right? So we had kind of had a base there that was really easy. Okay, it clearly broke the trend. The same thing here, clearly broke the trend. With the selling pressure candles, with the arrows, clearly broke the trend. So up here, we would need to build like some sort of range here, in my opinion. Or you can just set an alert kind of here at 146 and see where it goes from there. We do have a long way down. here as well, because this was also an absolute powerhouse this past year. Um, and it seems like right now this is the type of market where the absolute rippers of stocks, the ones that were up over 100% last year in 2025, look like they're about to take breathers. So this would definitely be something. I just really would like it to set up. You guys can clearly see that this was a great setup here. Boom, you short it, it sets up again, you short it again. So again, rinse and repeat. Let it set up again, and then short it. If you guys can get like maybe a rejection of one of the EMAs, that's even better. But personally, I really like to see a constructive setup. Um, yeah, I need to see it go sideways for maybe 2 more days, and then it can happen again. Or you can just try it off of the 21 and hope it doesn't revisit that area. AMD had earnings today. I know that for a fact, and they're like down here, like they nuked overnight. Which actually, you know what? That could be a play. Yeah, maybe it might need a few days. I have to see where it opens because usually the IV is still kind of whack on contracts after earnings. Even though a lot of the contracts get crushed, the volatility is still there. So yeah, if this gets I don't know where it is after hours. I wish I could see that. Wait, let me pull up my other screen here. Overnight it is at 223. Yeah, they had earnings, so 223. So they're about here right now overnight. So below the 50. So tomorrow we could look for a rejection of one of these. Yeah, they actually beat earnings. And they just got absolutely slammed. So that's not helping Qs as well. But if we dead cat at least for the morning, we might get a retest of something up here. But I personally would wait until we kind of break this trend line. Yeah, no, it's not at all. Or any like semiconductor or any software as well. Not a good look. But what is a good look for us is if price comes down to about this area, and you guys see this is a clear liquidity line. Might take a few days, but look at this gap. This is a huge, and this might be an earnings gap, or I actually don't know what this is from. Some sort of news, but just be careful if you do. AA, just because after earnings, the IV. So in the first 5 minutes, the IV crushes. So you don't want to enter right at market open, pretty much, because all the contracts you see there are getting crushed with because it might not have moved. Basically, options price in a movement, and if it doesn't meet that movement, the volatility just crushes and decreases the value of the contract. So if you were to get puts, I would personally wait for maybe like I would wait for a retest of one of the EMAs. You don't really want to short something that's already down so much, especially if there's a chance we dead cat tomorrow. I would just be very careful. I don't think it's a bad idea. I just would be very cautious with doing that because I'm just speaking from experience. I did it with Nvidia. They were down, and then I bought a put contract at open, and it went immediately to zero because I didn't know what IV crush was, and that's exactly what happened. So just be careful with that. But dude, if you could buy far out, and it comes down here and it breaks this, yeah, perfect. If you can execute that, 100%. But if we break this liquidity line, we have a huge gap to fill. And when gaps fill, like basically, think of gaps as like a magnet. When you see a big gap on the screen, with price, usually what price does is it will fill half the gap, because price acts as a magnet. Go retest something, probably the EMAs, and then fill the rest. So right now we can expect price to maybe fill this gap, hover around here, then fill half this gap. So probably 185-ish, or because we kind of already tapped the gap here, it might actually fill the whole thing. So AMD not ready yet, but once it gets to like the around the below 210 pretty much, high watch for shorts. Um, and especially because it's at 223 right now after hours. Who knows where it will open, but yeah, this looks quite bearish as well. Pan W. Take a look at this. Yeah, so personally, Pan W made its move already. It definitely has some room to go down. It might need to take a breather. Like this might be kind of the thing where it needs to, bounce back and then move sideways for a bit and then make its move again. It had a pretty big move from here, right? We can kind of just chart a quick bear flag here, or if you want to chart it like this, just a straight line across, you totally can. But yeah, this kind of already made its move. I wouldn't want to be shorting the lows here. Yeah, you could play like an 8 EMA retest and short it down, but personally, like the absolute best setups come from after a small bull flag, like something like that or something like this. So ideally, we kind of go sideways, like maybe for like 2 more days, 3 more days, and then we look to target this low again and then below. So Pan W definitely getting there. I wouldn't say there's anything actionable on this going into tomorrow. These sell candles though are really nice. Super A plus sell candles. Apple. So the thing is with Apple, yeah, and this is exactly what I was about to say. Apple performs absolutely amazing when it comes to market conditions being absolute shit. They yeah, I don't know why because it's a Mag 7 stock. But every time the market like kind of does its thing to the downside, Apple just performs very well. So what I see here, and this is one of the things where I was kind of talking about earlier, you can look to long like risk off stocks. Recently, Apple has been put in that category. Would I say it stays there? I don't know. It only recently like became like this. At least in the past year, it came like this. Um, yeah, it's always. But before it was this big of a market cap, it didn't do this. at least maybe I didn't pay attention enough, but um, yeah, we got a nice little wedge pop here. I would wait for what's called the EMA crossback, which is yeah, the EMA crossback. Basically, price will come back down, retest the 8 and the 21 and the 50-day, or just yeah, flag here, and then you can look to kind of long it to the highs. But up here, I wouldn't be interested in taking any longs, just because especially yeah, we're too extended from the 8 EMA. But this is definitely something that you can long. Yeah, it's a safe stock. This is something you can long when the market's taking a dump. So same thing with other risk-off stocks that I was kind of saying before: J&J, Procter and Gamble, McDonald's, Coca-Cola. These are all necessities. Software like rotates constantly, right? But boomer stocks that are like they will never run out of business, or like they can, but they're highly unlikely. Everyone's going to go to Walmart. Everyone's going to go to Target. Everyone's going to go to Costco. People are still going to use phones, right? But yeah, Apple also does a bunch of other stuff with software, like iCloud storage. And I think they're actually now implementing. They're also building their own. Well, they have Apple AI, but I don't. It still baffles me that Apple is now considered risk off. So, but yeah, you can totally. I would say it needs to come back to the EMAs though, for it to do anything like that. So NBIS is where I left off. NBIS actually looks phenomenal as well. To the downside, this is actually one of my favorites. I think that we've seen so far. This is a huge base here. Yeah, this looks quite good. The low volume too. So this could be earnings coming up though. Okay, never mind. I don't want to trade this. Guys, do never trade stocks that have earnings coming up unless you're looking to day trade it. Even then, because earnings are coming up, I was kind of talking about this earlier. The IV of the contracts are going to be absolutely through the roof. So I wouldn't be interested in trading this. Unfortunately, this looks really good. NVITS. You know what? And I don't know how good cons are. I'll have to check contracts on this. But if it breaks this low, this is totally enough time for it to just drop down. So maybe like the $7 range. Let's see how cons are on this. Contracts on this they're pretty liquid actually. This could be interesting tomorrow. NVITS rejection of one of the EMAs and then target $8 and lower. The put side though, yeah, puts are pretty they're pretty liquid. March 20 $8 call. They're spready though, which isn't great. But you could do February 20th. So February 20th is still 17 days out. My rule of thumb is no sooner than 14. So and those one are not as spready. Yeah, NVIDIA actually looks pretty decent to the downside. So yeah, this is something actually to put on watch. CoreWeave, nothing here. CRDO. Yeah, this already made its move, right? Again, we want to look for those kind of stalls or flags just in the middle, and then maybe checking into the 8 and then dropping again. So already made its move. Needs to set up again. ASML just crazy strength. Again, nothing actionable to the short side here. LRCX. It could tilt. Could tilt. A lot of these very strong names are actually looking like they want to tilt. But again, we've got all this resistance, right? We want one of the setups that has like almost no resistance. We want to short the weakest stocks. We want to long the strongest stocks. So this is absolutely crazy. Yeah, I was just about to get there. SNDK. This is absolutely crazy. They just reported earnings, right? And they had a huge gap up, came all the way down, and I would count this as an 8 EMA retest. It came down and it pretty much touched it. Because if tomorrow it continues up, this EMA will move up and it will touch the bottom. So this is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. This might be something like I want to look at this on the weekly. Oh my goodness, we are so it's it's like 300 almost $300 extended. It's like $220 extended from the 8 EMA on the weekly. This is gonna have its check-in soon. So if this gets parabolic, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, if SNDK starts to gap up more and more and more, this could become a parabolic short. And for those of you that do not know what parabolic shorts are, we all know what happened to gold. Gold got nuked. And this is look at the weekly. Well, obviously this kind of looks like crap, but it was all the way up here, right? At its peak. More than like way too far from the 8, from the weekly 8. Look at that. Came all the way back down, tested the weekly 8, and now it's getting bought back up. So I think SNDK would be something that we would look for a parabolic short. Yeah, when it happens, and with the market conditions, like the current market conditions, this should be quite an easy trade. This is something that Fifi would be all over. But as of right now, it's very bullish. Like just using his indicator, bear no trade. So yeah, is it? I gotta check. Let me see here. SNDK. It's not by an insane amount. It's down 1%. And considering this is a 10% ADR stock, that's the equivalent of like Microsoft being down 30%. Um, from what I'm seeing overnight, yeah, it is down 10 points. Yeah, you're right. Um, but again, its ADR is 10%. Like it moves 10% in one day. So you know what? Definitely worth a look tomorrow to see what happens. But personally, if I were to short it, it needs to gap up again. Like it needs to take out this high. Yeah, it could do it tomorrow. For sure. Uh, yeah, no, I don't hate the idea at all. I'm not trying to crap on your idea. I think it's a great idea. I personally would just love if we get another extended day. We get another extended day, like yeah, that's a really good look for shorting back into the even the 8 day. Yeah, I don't know what tomorrow's gonna look like. I think we're gonna dead cat. So if we do dead cat, um, yeah, I would look to see if we break this high, and then as soon as we break this high, I'd be eyeing shorts, like a hawk. So, IBM, did this just have news or no? No, it's just today. Today was just crazy. IBM actually could be a very good short. How do you know when it's topped? You kind of just it's you need a gap up. Oh, SNDK. When it's topping, well, you can use Fifi's indicator, which tells you that okay, this is a topping signal. It seems like there's a lot of selling going on up here, um, but usually you don't know when it's topped. That's like that. That's what sucks about trying to get into a parabolic short. But you can use other sort of strategies to enter when it looks too extended. So right now, this is extended from the 8 day, but I personally would not short it here yet. I need another maybe 1 day for it to be up here, and then you want to look for an RDR. Then you want to look for kind of one of the A plus shorts on Fifi's indicator. But usually the RDRs is what really gets it. So, um, yeah, basically, if let me see gold because gold was parabolic. Um, it happened overnight, which sucks. But basically, it would look something like this. So it would gap up here, right? We're really extended from the 8 day, and then it would check in, right? It would bearish RDR, and um, that's when you would look to start a short position to get the parabolic short. So this chart actually isn't really a great example, but you can't really time tops. You just got to trade like with the indicators and strategies that you know how to trade. So with SNDK, that's kind of what I'm thinking is we need to gap up again and then start seeing some intraday, either intraday or a full RDR. Like even if we gapped up here and RDR'd, I would get short 100%. Um, but yeah, it's hard to time tops with very strong stocks like this. Yo, what's up? Um, okay, so IBM. This looks pretty decent actually um for a short here. It's got a nice base here. RDR stands for Red Dog Reversal. So basically, what this is price gaps up. This is bearish, by the way. So price moves above the previous day high or low, but for a bearish RDR, it's above the high, and then it comes back down into the previous day range. And basically, that is a very bearish candle, or that would be a very bearish setup. So that's what we get alerts on. This is RDR. There, RDR short. So with the indicators that we have, you can set an RDR short alert up. So if you, as soon as this happens, you get an alert, and then you can trade based off of that, or wait until you get you get the RDR short, and then you wait for one of the other indicators to go off like a sell. So yeah, I would really, really recommend you read up on what a red dog reversal is, just because it's very, very useful. Um, so also that's why it looked so weird. I was on the hourly on that. Um, yeah, IBM. This is actually looking really nice as well. I'm adding this to my watch list. IBM looks great. For the downside, Intel looks way too bullish. Yeah, the bull qualifier, way too bullish. Marvel again made its move. We want to enter around here, right? We do not want to enter when we're too extended. We want to enter when we're compressed and we have clear risk. So the entry for Marvel would have been on this day, stops high of day because we rejected the 8-day, and we broke kind of this trend and closed below it. So that's a huge indicator to swing it. So that would be the entry for that one. And then MU, way too strong, absolutely way too strong. But this could also have some sort of a rejection, or it could sell off pretty quick. But we want to short the weakest stocks. We don't want to be shorting the strongest stocks. QCOM, this is way too extended to the downside. It needs to come up and kind of set up again. I don't see anything there. SMCI, already way oversold. I mean, it could drop lower, but historically we've been bought up a lot around this level. So I'd be very, very cautious shorting the bottom. Or I don't want to time bottoms either, but we're getting a lot of bottom indicators closer to here. So yeah, I'd be very careful looking at that. And then TSM actually looks insane for a long, but I just can't. I can't with Qs. But who knows? Again, everything can change tomorrow. Like if we reject the 8 and the 21 day tomorrow, I would be immediately looking for shorts. If we rip right through them, I'd be quite interested in longs, but probably more to the risk off stocks, or yeah, or maybe I'm going half size, something like that. So RGTI, let me take a look here. Again, Quantum already made its move, right? So it made its move last week, I think. So the setup would have looked something like this, or you could actually flag it. The flag would have been better. So kind of like that. So it kind of made its move. You could play an 8 EMA retest and then short it below, and then target kind of 17, which is where the previous low, and then drops down even lower. But again, you want to have your entries at this flag break or at this base break. So that's why like IBM looks good to me, because we have this base that we can use as kind of okay, and we've got like a pretty decent cliff that this thing can fall off of. But this is just one example. Obviously, I would prefer it if it could set up a little bit and then make its move, but that's why I put it on watch. But yeah, with any of the quantum, like Ionic was the first one to go, right? You want to find the flags, right? And then take some sort of reversal or some sort of. So for me, I think I took it on this day where we rejected the 50, we rejected the 21, we rejected the 8, and then on top of that we took out this low. I think I had a chart like this. Sorry. And we took out this low. I'm immediately going short. Like this is A plus short, and that's what happened. And I called it out in TOC as well. Yeah, this is an absolutely phenomenal short. And I unfortunately got out, I think, because I thought I was getting too extended. But yeah, today would have been paid a lot more, but oh well. Risk management over anything. So Exxon, let me take a look here. I'm pretty sure Exxon's on like a crazy tear. Yeah. So this is what I was saying with oil. Something happened today in Iran or the Middle East, which is why oil went crazy today. So I personally would not long Exxon. The only one that I was looking at was Oh, what was it called? Oh, COP. Uh, Kanoko Phillips. This actually looks pretty decent. If this could set up a little bit more, like literally 2 more days, and this would be looking very nice. It's an 87 on the qualifier. But yeah, something like this, where if we can go sideways for a bit and then break out. I tried trading this, but I didn't take it. I don't know why. It's just so good. This was the best flag right here. Um, Rode the 21 and then broke above the 8 and then surfed the 8 day and then like with dying volume and then it gapped up. Like that's what this candle is. It gapped up significantly. But the trade, your day that you would have traded would have been right here, or even actually you could have taken it here on the 27th. But ideally, I want this to set up again and then look for it to go higher. It's a pretty low ADR. I like my stocks over 3%, but I'll still play this. But there's other. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Exxon's pretty extended. It's a leader. We want to look for the other oil stocks. So ConocoPhillips is one. I think CVX, right? CVX is another one. Chevron. Let's see how that looks. Chevron had a crazy day as well. Another leader. So I wouldn't be interested. Also, the qualifier, it's a 76. So I really like looking for stocks that are above 80. Um, yeah, Oxy's another one. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I was looking at this today. Yeah, so this one for sure, especially if we can set up a bit more. There's no range here, right? Like, there's no tight range that's executable. Like, I mean, you could like chart something like this, but again, it's too wide. Like, ideally, we need to fill this up and then we can execute. So that's why I like cops. Uh, cops set up a bit better, especially if we like can get an inside day or two. This would be a plus for me, personally. So cop is on my watch list already here. So let's see. Do you ever use fair value gap? Yeah, I trade futures, so I do use fair value gaps. I just don't always use them when it comes to swing trading because as they're not as important as they are on like with futures when you're trading a 24-hour market. With stocks, right, you have your regular trading hours, then you have your after hours, then you have your pre-market, but there's still a couple hours of time where the stock isn't trading. So you definitely can, and honestly, like for reversals and stuff, you can definitely use like on the lower time frames, fair value gaps, inverse fair value gaps, break of structures, stuff like that, ICT concepts. But I only use those with futures. I don't really use them with swing trading. Um, Meta. Let's see. You know what? Maybe. I think it just had earnings, right? Yeah, they just smashed earnings. Um, got into this gap. There's still a huge gap, and we filled it. So, gapped up here, and then we filled this gap coming down. We still have a gap to fill, but because of how big this gap is, we're gonna probably bounce off of the trend line and then come back and fill the rest of the gap. So personally, it's too strong to short, but I wouldn't long it just because it's a meg. Is it a meg 7? I think it is. Um, it's a meg 7 or it's heavily associated with Qs, and I do not like the look of Qs right now. So this would kind of just be a sit on your hands and look at or see what it does kind of thing. Yeah. So semis, we just kind of went through there. So now let's take a look at some software as well. Oh, Adobe, this was A plus, man. Like I don't even have to like wait for anything else to load in. This right here, just A plus trade right here. If anyone caught this, good on you, man. Like look at this, right? This is what I'm saying is we need to build like the range, get tight with the range. So these are the A plus setups that you guys need to train your eyes to look for. We came up, rejected the 21. We got the bearish selling signals, right? The arrows with Fifi's indicator. came back down. We couldn't break down, but we still made another range. We tried to come back up. We again rejected the 8. Um, and honestly, you probably could have entered on this day because we broke. Oh, we didn't break the range actually. Ideally, you want to break the previous day candle. So overnight, this just nuked. But this was an A+ setup. If this did it during the day, this would have been absolutely great. But unfortunately, it went before. CRM just, oh my goodness, this thing is done. Send it to the gulag. It is this is gone. There's I don't even think, even if you traded a setup again, like you could, but it needs to go sideways, right? It needs to create that range. But I love these sell candles. They're dumping software right now. It's actually crazy. Yeah, I think software already made its move. They all gapped down overnight. Again, this is a flag, right? Right here. This is what you would have done. And then taken it on the break of this flag. But again, it happened overnight. So not a whole lot to do. Yeah, CRM has been cooked for a while. There has been the signals that the big guys were selling off their software. Now the question is what are they buying? Or maybe they're not buying anything. But yeah, crowd, there's nothing really here. D-Dog, nothing really. IGV, yeah, already made its move. Amazon, I'll check. Amazon's a Meg 7, so associated with both Qs and SPY. This looks pretty bullish. I wouldn't short yet, but you know what? Very good eye, because this liquidity trend line looks something like this. You get the idea. If we break this, you can easily target 215. And then you can use each of these retests as take profit levels. So like really good eye. Actually, this looks really good. So ideally, on TradingView, depending on what level you have, you can actually set an alert on the trend line. So I would recommend doing that for sure. Because if this drops again, you know what, dude? This actually looks really freaking good. I'm adding this. Good eye, Hero. This is good, man. Yeah, especially if we, even if we open lower and we retest up here, you could get short. I just don't love that it's not below the EMAs. That's the only thing. So ideally, we want it to, like break 230. I think that would be the entry zone. It's probably gonna chop around up here. You could find some sort of entry up here, but yeah, this looks pretty. Yeah, this looks pretty. It reminds me of Nvidia actually. Nvidia kind of had the same thing. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe I see the resemblance, but like something like this, right? This is kind of the liquidity trend line that we had. Ignore the failed breakdowns. But this is the kind of liquidity trend line we had, right? It bounced, and then finally it broke, and then we kind of got a huge sell. So Amazon for sure can follow suit, especially when one of the leaders of Mag 7, Nvidia, already did it, right? So yeah, this could cook for sure. I just think it needs a little bit more time, or it needs to just nuke past 230. But again, even if it nuked from here all the way past 230, the high of day would be way too high. So you really need to wait until it sets up properly. So yeah, that was a good one. Lyft is cooked. ServiceNow kind of already had its setup, right? Set up here. You could have played this. It wasn't pretty though. Yeah, nothing really here. MDB. Yeah, it's already gone, man. Like ideally, this comes back up and it like moves sideways again, so you could keep it on watch, and then it moves lower. Especially with this gap below. Remember, price loves gaps. They use them as magnets, and they usually fill half first. So definitely something to keep on watch to see if it comes back and retests the 8. MDB. I've never traded this stock, so I actually don't know. Oracle, there was a bunch. Actually, this had a bunch of alerts setting off today for me at least. Yeah, the A shorts. But I just personally didn't love that we didn't have any sort of like base to break down from. So that would have been a good trade. But aside from that, um, nothing really. Do you think we're heading for a bigger downtrend? That's why tomorrow is very important. So I know Fifi's already kind of jumping the gun and saying, guys, we're going way lower. And he's probably right. But for me, I don't want to just go off of that. I want to do my own kind of like have my own bias. So for me personally, just because the 8 and the 21 on QQQ is not crossed, I'm not looking for full shorts yet. I'm not looking to go fully into shorts pretty much. Tomorrow we could just have a day where we reclaim the 50 and just rip through. Like we've had it before, where we kind of got close. Like we could have something like this, like just as an example, right? Huge sell day. Oh my goodness, the world's over. Everything sell. Everyone sell everything, and then look, we just got bought right back up, right? The same thing could happen, right? In the next couple days, we could get bought back up. That's why tomorrow is so important. Because if we reject the 21 and the 8, and then let's just say we make a new low, oh man, yeah, no, it's cooked. I would go full, like we would be very focused on shorts if that's the case. Um, so yeah, I definitely think we're due for a bigger like downtrend. Yeah. I just don't know if right now if this is what it's gonna do. Because if you look at Qs, yeah, this is bearish, but if you look at SPY, right, this is bullish. Like we didn't close under the 50. We closed under the 21, which is a bit scary, but who knows? Like tomorrow again, right? We could rip right through. So I think the market just needs to pick a side. So that's why sitting on your hands would be something that I would recommend you guys do unless you have an edge or you can clearly see an edge. Because tomorrow we could just nuke again and then we enter shorts and then the next day we get bought back up. So I just want to wait until the market picks an area it wants to go, whether it's long or short, and then we play based on that. If you don't have an edge, it's not worth risking your money, right? Like again, guys, your number one job as a trader isn't to make as much money as possible. It's to manage your risk, protect your capital. So yeah, just be aware of that. If you don't, cash is a position. You don't need to trade every day, especially if you don't have an edge. So and especially right now because of how choppy we are, anything could really happen. So okay, let's keep going here. I'll do a more in-depth scan tonight as well, and I'll shoot some ideas just because I have some. I also like looking to see what Sean looks at too. See what he's looking at. This would have been a great short today. Just breaking this low completes the H pattern. Yeah, this looks great. But again, it made it move. It made its move, but yeah, it's a 78. Not too keen about it. Okta, nothing here. Yeah, again, you got nuked. This is actually so crazy to me. In a span of a month, less than that, half of a month, this thing lost 50% of its value. Absolutely insane. And they have earnings coming up. I wonder what that's going to be interesting. Team, I heard a lot about this today actually. Team, this is a perfect H pattern. If you guys don't know what an H pattern is, it's very simple. It looks like an H. It's one of the ways you can trade bearish. You get your impulse move to the downside, your retest, and then you target lower or the breakdown spot and lower. So in H, it's one of the textbook short patterns. This was absolutely great, but it gapped down, so no entry there. Wow, software got nuked. I haven't done a scan like this in a while, so like just looking at every single stock in the sector, this is just crazy. Yeah. Zoom. Okay, Zoom could be next. Um, Zoom puts could be the play soon. Um, Especially if we like tomorrow we break under the 50 and then we move sideways. Zoom is something I'd put on watch because it was a leader, but now it's turning bearish. Um, so this would be something, and especially because its counterparts are kind of just um, crap in the bed. They have earnings coming up, so I'm not going to do anything until then. Obviously, that's why I exited the Coca-Cola position today. Um, but yeah, Zoom could have the chance for us to get in. ZS, this is gone, dude. There's no setup here. um, yeah, it's kind of how I do my scans. I'm gonna send you guys later just some of my favorite setups because I want to look at contracts too, and see how liquid they are, and then choose the best setups based on that. I also want to take a look to see what other people are looking at as well. But um, that's pretty much it for tonight. So if you guys have any questions, like now, yes, dude, I don't know if it was you that said this, but I have been looking at this to hedge my long-term port. The volume on this day, actually, the volume today is interesting. Yeah, this could be good, man. I'm keeping this on watch. This could be good. If you guys want to get some like lower risk share exposure, actually this is 3x. So if you guys want to get some share exposure to hedge your port, you guys can buy stocks. Um, yeah, and this has the chance to like potentially go up here, but yeah, no, I really like that idea as well. I want to see some sort of setup happen here. I don't just want to blindly buy. Maybe because it's shares, you can dollar cost average if it ends up going back down again. But um, yeah, yeah, it's 3x. That's why they're so cheap too, right? Because if you put, let's just say this is $200, like you buy 100 shares, um, at $3 you're making $100, right? So um, yeah, I personally love trading leveraged shares on leveraged stocks. So, but yeah, that's kind of like this is kind of my what I had in plan for tonight. So if you guys have any questions, anything at all, I'm more than happy to take questions and give you guys some answers. Whether it's about like my trading strategy or whether it's about psychology or anything. Um, I will say though, we are now going to be pushing some more updates for you guys. Yes, I do. I can send that to you. So, but sorry. Right now, we're going to be pushing some updates to you guys that you guys will like. So, just working on a few things. A lot of people have complained that the TQE swing gets really annoying when you're looking on the lower time frames. So let's just say you don't have the smaller time frame like I do. As soon as you click to anything that's lower than the daily, it disappears. So we are going to be pushing that out very shortly. And then as soon as you go back on the daily, it auto reappears again, so you don't have to go back up here and hide it and unhide it. The weekly, it still stays there, but as soon as you drop to like the hourly, it disappears. So that's going to be pushed out. And something that's even better is we are bringing back alerts on the swing, or we're introducing alerts. So Fifi's Trader. So now in the next update, you guys will be able to get a bull qualified and a bear qualified alert. So it once on the daily, um, the type of trade or the trigger and the rating meets a certain condition, it'll send you an alert, basically saying, hey, this is actually really good for a bull, or this is really good for a short, or you can get both. But we need to test these, so that's why they're not being pushed out to you guys yet. We don't want to send you guys not working code, but this is kind of what we have planned coming to you guys in the next coming days. And then on top of that, we are in the works of creating a 30-minute pivot indicator as well, which is what Ian uses. So we're talking to Ian right now and getting his what he uses when it comes to the 30-minute pivot, what he looks for, and then we're going to be putting that into an indicator pretty much and making that for you guys. So you guys don't have to look for it yourselves. It just pings. Um, so yeah. Oh, the indicator. There's lots of there's a lot of videos on how the indicators work in here. Well, just in indicator videos and guides. It's just in the main. It's one of the menus. You'll be able to see that there. Um, so yeah. Do you guys have any more questions? Also, I'm actually so blown away by Coca-Cola. I have to say this. I made I don't know if you guys saw in the TOC chat, but this week I made 30% on my port just on Coca-Cola. It's absolutely insane. Let me show you guys. Yeah. So this is what I posted in the Interactive Brokers performance. 34% total return this week. So I might take the rest of the week off, but yeah, this is yeah, I put options on it. So I bought it a couple days ago. The options I heavily trimmed at 115%. Um and it's still going. So yeah, super. I do. So I am in the expert plays. So if you yeah. So I try to alert as best as I can. But again, I'm also managing this Discord, right? I'm also fixing bugs with the indicators. So I try to alert as best as I can. But yeah, that was a crazy trade. So I might just take the rest of the week off. But I don't know. We'll see. Um. Yeah, just let me know if you guys have any other questions. Um, yeah, of course, man. No problem. Um, I know Fifi has a lot more experience than I do, but yeah, I'm glad I can help you guys out as well. Um, yeah, I'll try and answer any of your questions as best as I can, to the best of my knowledge. I've been trading for um, like I technically been trading since I was 16, but I took it more seriously a couple years ago. So yeah, no problem, guys. Yeah, Fifi's insane. But he also, so here's the thing. He's insane, but he also lets some of his positions, like especially his weekly lottos, go to absolutely zero and then they come back to life. So um yeah, but he has an insane win rate. Especially for the downside, you guys really need to tail him for the downside. Yeah, exactly. Like you see how much he made today? He made 17K. Like he's disgusting. No, he's a goat. I can't trade weeklies, man. Like I can't stand to see them swing like that. So honestly, like kudos to him. Because like even a dollar move will like move your position 60%. I just can't do that. So um, I'm jealous more than anything. Yeah, but also this indicator has been huge when it comes to executing stuff like that. Like he uses this indicator um, like a lot. So I'm also just learning it because he's the one who kind of put the logic into it. So I'm just learning how to kind of trade it. Um, Also, I forget who. For Coca-Cola, I entered here on Coca-Cola on the 27th, and then yeah, it moved $5 since then, and I had multiple contracts. Um, I took the equivalent of about 40% of my account with the contracts. Actually, less than that. It was about 30%, I think. I oversized a bit. But I was very confident in this trade, so that's why I made 30% on my account. um, And then obviously you're trimming up on the way, right? So, but I fully exited because earnings is coming up, and this is exactly what I wanted to happen. Just the earnings run up. Pepsi had okay earnings, which boosted Coca-Cola because they're competitors. So this is just A+ trade. I was very um I was very confident in this. That's why I took that. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, um, thanks for hopping on the call with me. If you guys have any last questions aside from that, then I'll wrap it up here. All right. Good night, guys. Thanks for listening. I'll be posting some watch list stuff. Yeah, of course. I'll do this more often too. It doesn't have to be when Fifi's gone. Um, yeah, my DMs are always open. So if you guys have any questions, just ping me in chat or DM me directly. Any again also with like, if you have any questions about the indicators or the bug, any if you guys see any bugs, let me know because I gotta fix that. So um, yeah, yeah, no problem. Just yeah, just let me know, guys. All right, I'm gonna end stream here. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.